What's up, guys? It's your boy Marv, and I'm coming to you with some breaking news and my input on this trade about the Boston Celtics today. They traded Anthony Simons for Nikola Vucevic today on the Chicago Bulls. Honestly, I think it's a great trade, not because I'm a Celtics fan, I don't want to be biased, but you have to understand the Celtics did not have an inside presence. Nikola Vucevic, yes, he is on the 35 plus side of his age on the league, but he's a big man that can stretch the floor. And the Celtics are thinking long term for the playoffs. If Jason Tatum is not returning, the Jaylen Brown is going to need someone else to help him score during the postseason. Simons comes off the bench most of the time, so the Celtics said, you know what, we'll give up short scoring off the bench so we can get a big man on the inside. Because during the playoffs, this was going to happen. You're going to have Pritchard, White, you're going to have Brown. Derek White is not really having that great of a season. And at the four spot, you're going to have to probably go with like Walsh, Hauser. You're going to have to go a little bit small. So I think that, with the Celtics, they can just throw the ball on the inside to Nikola Vucevic. He's, on most nights, a double-double machine. He can rebound the ball and he can score. And if you have the big man Quita right now, the problem is he doesn't stretch the floor. So come postseason time, the Celtics are going to be playing a lot of 4 and 5. You're going to have Derek White. They're going to force him to beat you, and he's not going to beat you every single night. He might beat you 2 games out of 7, 3 games out of 7, but he's not going to beat you every night in a 7-game series. And as the rounds, you get to the divisional round, you get to the conference finals, it's only going to get tougher. Pritchard, I think he's more on the undersized as a starting point guard. He can score the ball, but I think the Celtics really want him to be that bench piece that Simons exit for. So I think if Mike Conley comes as a buyout, I think he might go to the Celtics and be their starting point guard to set up the offense for Jaylen Brown and Nikola Vucevic, which would allow Derek White to actually shoot the ball much better. That is, one of the issues that I see with the Celtics right now is Jaylen Brown has to have a great game for the Celtics to win on most nights. But with Nikola Vucevic, it now takes the pressure off Jaylen Brown of having to score 30 plus every single night, especially in the postseason when they're going to game plan for him. They were game plan for him in the previous postseasons. They were forcing him to go left. They were forcing him to be a scorer on some nights. Now he sort of figures it out. He knows how to handle the ball a lot better now. He knows how to set guys up a lot better. He's been rebounding the ball a lot better too as well. So I think this trade will help not only Jaylen Brown, but this trade will really, really help Derek White. We've seen Derek White had some good games during this season, but he hasn't really had a consistent run. And I think the reason why, hear me out, the reason why is this. They lost Porzingis, they lost Al Horford, and they lost Luke Cornett. Those 3 big men were floor spacers. They scored on the inside, but all 3 were floor spacers. Now Derek White is playing with Queta, who's a great rebounder. He's a good guy. He's a great player, but he's more on the inside. So what that does is it stacks the paint, and Derek White doesn't have much room to shoot freely from behind the arc like he did with Porzingis, where they play 5 wide out, where they had Porzingis on one side, Tatum on one side, Brown on the perimeter. You had Derek White on the opposite side. It was pick your poison. So now the Celtics are saying, hey, out of Al Horford, we lost Horford, Porzingis, and we lost Cornett, 3 of our floor spacers. We need now to go get someone that can stretch the floor, and that's what they got in Nikola Vucevic. Yes, they had to give up Simons, who's been playing out of his mind this season. He's been great for the Celtics, but the issue is you already have Pritchard, you already have White, and now you're going to bring in another guard off the bench during the postseason, and there is no interior scoring. So the offense would be too predictable in the postseason. I think that's what Brad Stevens is looking at. All right, if the Brown is not going, then they're gonna try to go to Derek White. If Derek White don't have it, we're gonna force Sam Hauser to beat us, and we're gonna force Pritchard to beat us. In the playoffs, those guys are glue guys. Those guys are guys that, you need, that can help you win a series, but they're not your number one or number two guys. So Brown is a number one going into the playoffs if healthy, with Vucevic as your second option, because you can just throw the ball on the inside, and then you have White, Pritchard, Hauser as your complementary scorers. I think that's going to get them at least to the second round conference finals at least. I don't really see any teams in the East pending. We don't know where Giannis is going to be right now, but I don't see any East in the any team in the East. I'm sorry, that's going to really blow Boston out the water. I think Boston is right there with all the teams. Pistons made a good trade, but I think Pistons lost a couple of defense there because they said, you know what, we have to sacrifice some defense because we need some floor spacing. Tobias and Duncan Robinson is not going to cut it in the playoffs. Those guys are not playoff risers. They can probably win you a game or two, but in a 7-game series, a round, 2 rounds, I don't really see them. The Cavs, they have been linked with James Harden, but we've seen the last time, James Harden in the East, Game 7 with the Celtics, he didn't do too well, and age can play a factor. Defense, him and Mitchell, that defensive backcourt, I don't really see it that much in the postseason. You have the Knicks. The Knicks are good, but are they a postseason team? I think Brunson is a liability, even though he is a great scorer in the postseason. They probably have a year under their belt, so they might be okay. But back to the Celtics, I think the Celtics have a legitimate 6-man rotation, 7-man. You kind of want an 8-man rotation, but I think they have a good solid 6, 7 guys that can play in the playoffs. And if Tatum comes back, they have a legitimate 8-man rotation. So we'll come back with another update on our Celtics basketball. Let me know in the comments what you think about the trade. If you think Nikola Vucevic to the Celtics, let me know if they're going to the finals. Let me know if they're going to the conference finals, first round exit. Let me know your opinions, and we can chat it up. Thank you guys so much.